Sometimes you might need a pick-me-up, a push in the right direction, some words that help put you back on track. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast with your motivational moment.
Good morning! Welcome to your motivational moment, part of the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. My name is still Chris Jaggs, and I'm glad you joined me for another great speaker that we have this week. So here we have our midweek booster, the one for you to possibly give you that little pick-me-up and refocus with you chasing your goals. Now this week we have the great Gary V, who will be reminding us what an incredible world that we live in right now, especially when it comes to wanting to grab your opportunity out there. So enough from me, let's give Gary the stage.
So everybody please give me a huge round of applause for my friend Gary V.
Thanks for having me. Look, I'm really excited to be here. You know, obviously with a smaller group, I hope we can do a bunch of Q&A. I'll try to give you a little context about what I want to talk about and then take it from there. I think the thing that has allowed me to travel a lot and speak is that the only thing I ever think about when I talk is the audience. How do you create context that matters for the people in the room? I speak at events that have people that run Fortune 500 companies that do $50 billion a year, and I speak to athletes and emerging hip hop artists and kids, and I run the gamut. To be very frank with you, I'm only interested in talking about something that's gonna bring value to the 20, 30 people in this room. And so the things I'm gonna spit right now are the things that I think make sense based on the very little I know about the people in the room. I was born in the Soviet Union, in Belarus. When I came to America, I was 3 years old. I lived in a studio apartment in Queens with 8 family members. I didn't see my dad until I was 14 years old because he worked every minute and we didn't have much and we grinded. I think the thing that excites me is, I so appreciate the nice intro, but me investing in Facebook and Twitter and Uber is not what's on the mindset in this room. What's in the mindset of this room for me, and I'll let you ask your own questions, and I'm not interested in judging or assuming, but for me, what I'm most excited about is that there's never been a time ever where there's been so much opportunity in the world, and I don't think people realize it because I think people don't realize what's gone on with this internet thing. Most people in here are a bunch of youngsters. You've never known the world pre-internet. When I was 18, I still had never seen the internet in my life because I'm old, and that's how I came up. And so for me, this internet thing is changing everything that's happening in our society. Everybody in this room, including myself, is grossly underestimating the internet. And for me, the only passion I have is how quickly can you have it consistently? Because the second you realize what the fuck that thing is, and you understand what it means, it eliminates everything that's ever happened before. Every single thing that's happened before becomes irrelevant when you have that opportunity, because the reality is, it's just game changing. I'll give you a quick story. This Saturday I had dinner with my parents, which was awesome because I'm hustling so hard that, I don't get to see them as much as I want. And we had dinner and we're bouncing, and the waitress ran after me and grabbed me and was like, "Hey, I just want to thank you." And I was like, "Sure." She's like, "My fiance didn't have a job 15 months ago. And then he saw a video you posted on YouTube. And in the last 15 months, he made $1.5 million off of a $1,000 investment in buying stuff in China and selling it on Amazon." And yeah, that's real good. and it really hit me so hard because I was thinking to myself, my God, between YouTube and Instagram and these things, free information, right? Guy had $1,000 and he was, if he made $15,000, that would have seemed crazy. If he made $150,000, that would have been all time, would have changed his life. To go from not having a job and having $1,000 to making $1.5 million in a year is just batshit crazy and was not possible when I was growing up. Took decades to amass that kind of wealth. The opportunity is ridiculous. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Thanks for coming through. So look, for me, it's real simple, right? I was kind of laughing. If you do have Instagram and you went to my Instagram account and you looked at my post 8 posts or 9 posts ago, you'd see something interesting. I'm sure for a lot of people in this room, your you're pounded the value of education, school, right? Got brought up like 3 or 4 times. I was a DNF student. I sucked at school. I actually was so bad at school that I had my admin, my assistant reach out to my high school and get a copy of my report card so I could put it on Instagram the other day, because people are confused what success looks like or how you get there. Doesn't mean that you should look at me and not do school. It means that you need to look at yourself and figure out who you are. What are you good at? What do you like? How are you gonna get to the place that you wanna get to? And so for me, I got 4 A's in high school my entire career, all in gym, right? Like I got a D in yearbook, and so to me, there's just 1,000 paths out there. And so for me, I'm curious about one by one, for the 30 people in this room, where's their mindset? Where are they at? Who are they listening to? What are they judging their self-worth and their ambition based on? How are they counting the points? Because when you're a youngster, you're looking at all sorts of different things. You're being affected by all sorts of different voices. And for me, the only thing that worked, even though I was getting D's and F's and all my friends' parents told me I was a loser, even though all my teachers told me I wasn't gonna be anything, even though I didn't have stuff, even though I just was in my own head. I knew exactly who I was. But the thing that I was willing to do was I was willing to work. And the thing that my parents taught me was not to dwell, not to cry about it. I didn't have shit. When I rolled up on my mom when I was 9, when Nintendo was popping, because when it first broke, I was like, Mom, I need Nintendo. She's like, good, go get it. And so I shoveled snow and I ripped people's flowers out of their yard and sold it back to them, which is my favorite one. There's so many amazing people, but ultimately, the world doesn't care. Everybody grows up with shit, right? It's crazy for me to be in this room because 48 hours ago, I had dinner with somebody who was crying for 4 hours over dinner with me because he has $10 million in his trust fund and he thinks that he'll never be able to be his own man because everybody's gonna say that his grandfather put him on and his life is ruined because he has $10 million in the bank. Every person in here that just heard that said, get the fuck out of here. Right? Right? But guess what? That's his fucking thing. That's in his head. That's his circumstance. And to be straight to the face with you, I actually think that that is scarier because there's nothing he can ever do to get away from the fact that he was put on like that and everybody will judge him for life. I genuinely believe this. I don't know your circumstances and but I'm telling you, once you get this, if you don't have it, you're in motion. The game has started, period. Give me $5 and a cell phone that has internet and I'm off to the races. I'll go to the dollar store, I'll buy 5 things, I'll put them on eBay, and I'll have $13 later, and on and on and on. And so I am in a place where I'm not here to rah-rah you or make myself feel good that I'm doing something nice. I'm doing something nice every day. I'm here because if I can get one of you to realize how ridiculous it is, how your grandparents, if they were in this situation, it would have taken them decades, but for you, if you really put in the work to educate yourself, educating isn't school. Educating is a whole different game. And so for me, I'm here because I'm giving back to the one thing that got me to the place that I'm at, and that's hustle, work. And everybody has that at bat if they want it, and there's a million ways to do it. And the fact that you can do it now at scale with this blows my face off. Changes everything. And if you don't have that, you need to figure out how to get to that. If you can get to that, then the whole world is open to you. You need to really quantify how special this time is. It's real. And you've got 2 choices every day of your life. You're either optimistic or you're pessimistic. You're either seeing what's good or you're seeing what's bad. My whole life, even when I was like in a very different place, I would always just say 7 billion people. Now it's 7.7 billion people. Where do I rank? For all the shit that I got, for all the negativity, where do I rank? Am I better than the person that's terminally ill, that has a lot of money, that's gonna die in a month? Yep. Am I better than somebody who's living in a cage in parts of the world that we don't even wanna look at? Yep. And so, to me, this is a mindset game. And it's real hard. It's real hard to penetrate your mindset right now because where you're at in the game, it's early. My one ambition in here right now is to get one person in this room to realize how much offense and how early it is in your game. I put out a lot of content, and my favorite piece of content right now, because I get so many emails from 20 and 30 year olds who are upset, concerned, worried. And I always tell them, like, it's not even halftime. It's not even halftime. You're worried about losing or it's not going your way, and your game hasn't even started. If this organization can really do you some good, they need to start sending you to retirement homes, and you need to start spending time with people that are 80, 90, 100 years old. You need context. It's really hard for me to worry about anybody in this room when you're in the first inning, when you're in the first quarter. What happens in the first 20 years of your life means shit. Means nothing. And to be very honest, you don't want to hear this from me, but I'm just gonna tell you because it's the fucking truth. I think your adversity is your fucking gift. Straight up. Because what you don't realize is happening right now in the world is the internet is making everything equal, and the chip on the shoulder that's forming on you right now, the fact that you're not entitled and you're not fucking soft and you can appreciate shit, that's gonna play out in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. You don't see it now, but you're gonna look at it the same way I did. When I was 9 and my mom said, go fuck yourself, buy your own Nintendo, I hated life. Now it's the best shit that ever happened to me. When I was 13 and I had to work every weekend and make $2 an hour bagging ice for 15 hours a day, and all my friends were partying and hooking up and having fun and going to parties and shit, I hated it. Now it's the best shit that ever happened to me. So, while everybody was looking down at me back then, I was looking inside my own head. And honestly, every time anybody looked down at me, I registered that shit and put it in a column. And that fucking shit became my fuel. And so, I think you're lucky. And I know you don't. But just remember in 20 or 30 years this talk, because I think you might agree, if you're willing to put in the work.
And that was the one and only Gary Vee. If you want something, you really do have to go out and get it. The crazy thing is, the vehicle for getting what you really want is literally in your pocket. The internet has created more opportunity for success out there than any other time in the whole of the world history. Ever. The question is, are you willing to embrace the adversity and put it to work? So with the world potentially pretty much in your hands, well, I mean, you're holding your phone at some point, aren't you? Or when you have yourself on the laptop. What possible opportunity could you be creating for yourself? What success are you chasing for yourself? You might be there thinking right now that you have an incredible idea, or there is that problem that you want to take care of. But instead, you're just going to sit there, aren't you? You're going to let it fester for a little bit longer. You're going to let the opportunity either pass you by or let it lose some value. But be realistic now. Time is ticking away. Get yourself on my calendar to book your 30-minute LDL power call. It's free after all. Let's get you moving in the right direction before you lose sight of it all. But what's the realistic outcome here? You try and ignore it, or you let the opportunity just sit there untouched because you haven't taken the action yet. Book the call, ldlcall.com. Let's talk and let's get things going. Thank you as always for listening. I always appreciate your support. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening. You can find more motivational moments at learndeveloplive.com. And we'll be back to inspire you again tomorrow.